So today was the day, after almost 4 years, we succumbed and we got Teddy neutered. And I'm feeling very, very guilty right now that I just couldn't sustain it. For those that don't know, Teddy has been chemically castrated to give you the effects of neutering without having to have the operation, mainly because I did get into showing him for a bit, and if your dog is neutered and doesn't have balls intact, he cannot be shown, he cannot go to crufts or anything like that. Also, I did kind of have a hope of breeding from him one day, but realistically I don't have the mentality to ever breed. Like, I'll end up keeping all the puppies. So we got him neutered because his injection had worn off again. With giant breeds, they don't last very long. It's chemical castration is an implant, like a microchip they have inside them, and you just keep putting more and more implants in them, and I don't think it was sustainable. I don't like the idea of these little implants staying in the system. And he was marking everywhere in the house. Every day there was a new puddle, and then it was getting to the point where you just kept shutting him in different rooms when you went to sleep at night, with the hope that he wouldn't pee up everything again or any soft furnishings. And I was just at my wit's end, especially with like having other dogs in the house. He was just doing it tenfold more than normal. Enter Buddy, he comes into the chat. Anyway, bad timing in terms of having visitors and Teddy not being able to run around and play for a few days. But he's been a bit of a drama queen, if I'm honest. Phil, from what I remember, it was many moons ago, another lifetime ago. He didn't have... Oh, don't drag you on the ground. Sorry, I'm losing track of thought. Phil didn't make a big deal out of it at all. Like, I barely even remember it being something that impacted him. Teddy, he's just whining constantly. He's also been sent home with painkillers, like a syringe that he has to have every day for the next 4 days, which I don't remember the cats or Phil having. Pain medication afterwards. I know it's more in depth for a girl dog when they're spayed, that's internal, but for a boy dog I really didn't think it was that much. And we do have a blow up cone, so we can get rid of this, because this is ridiculous for the door frames. But I'm just nervous as to if he'll be able to access it, or if we should give it a couple of days with this ridiculous thing. But he's just crashing into everything at the moment, so it's a right nightmare. But yeah, feeling very guilty, but tired of cleaning up wee, and hoping it will calm him down a little bit, because he is a very active dog. So we shall see, and then hopefully these two will be playing soon enough when this cone comes off. But for now he's on bed rest, or so to speak. This is his area, so he can't run around and pull out any of his stitches. I'm sorry. I truly am sorry. But my sofas, my beds, my fridge, my kitchen cupboards, they've tired of the wee, and I'm tired of the clean up. Anyway, I'll bring you along on the healing journey. And hopefully one day Teddy will forgive me. You've got this to come, buddy. You're not neutered. Let this be a vision for your future, potentially, if you ever start marking. I'm feeling really guilty right now for doing this, because he is miserable. And it's not just like the cone, I feel like he is in pain. He can't sit still. One leg just keeps like spasming out as if he's like got an itch, he just can't scratch. How is it even attached to you? Take it off. How is it? The band is a bit tight. try the block cone already. See what we can do. Come here, see? You can get through doors now. There you go. Are you okay? Can't get comfortable, can you? What are we going to do with you? Just want to make sure you can access it, can you? Go away, Nico, if you're going to be like that. You're not being supportive, you can leave. He doesn't need your negativity. Amelia? Are you shouting Amelia? You'd think with a bigger garden, you know, the cone wouldn't matter, but he still crashes into every single thing. Constantly. Or he drags it across the floor. It's like so. I really thought he'd be able to have the, he's stuck in the bush now, the blow up cone that we've got, because it is much more user friendly, but he can actually access the wound, and it's the largest blow up size they do. So it was Phil's from back in the day, and Phil's bigger than Teddy, so I don't understand why it's not working for him. He's more flexible, I guess. We're on day 3 now since the operation, and the whining stopped. So I'm not sure if that was whining out of frustration of the cone or whining from pain. But movement-wise, he seems to be moving a lot more normally now. And he's back at the vet's in, I think, 2 more days for a checkup. There's Teddy's ouchie. That's his stitches.
Looks very red.
Yeah.
Like it's
Are they stitches? The doctor.
That's weird though, so they've taken the testicles out. They've taken them out there.
I know.
Or unless they've just tied tubes, is that how they do it then?
So we're on day 4 now. Saturday, he had it done on Wednesday. And the cone is driving him absolutely crazy. He's back at the vet's on Monday for his post-op check. And I'm hoping as of Monday we can go to the blow-up cone once he's had that post-op check, but we will find out. But yeah, he's just loving all the cuddles at the moment. We also need to do a weigh-in, like on day 10, and know what his weight is, and then just monitor from there every week or something, seeing if he gains weight. The reason we really didn't want to do it to Teddy, even though we've done it to Phil and to Nico, was the weight gain.
Mommy, what's happening?
So it's going to be monitoring it. Yes. Yeah, I mean, the reservation. The only downside to it is they gain weight like crazy.
I don't have that. I'll go get your book.
Good boy.
So yeah, hoping that we can monitor that by the week and make sure that if he goes up a tiniest amount, we'll go straight down on the food and up on the exercise. But yeah, he's still not mastered the cone. He just spends his life trying to crash it. I think he's trying to get it to come off by purposefully crashing into things. And I'm his chosen thing to crash into usually. He's yellow. Good boy. So it is now day 5. No, day 6. It's day 6. He had his post-op check yesterday and they said it's healing well. And he still wants to play with it. He has to keep his cone on, but we're just giving him like 5 10 minutes of our undivided attention and cone-free time as much as we can. But we do have to keep watching him, because yesterday I put a teacup in the dishwasher and turned my back for a second, and he went for his front paw where they shaved him for his injection and started biting there and made that bleed. And yeah, I just don't want him getting to that. So yeah, trying to give him as much time out of that cone as possible, because it's getting disgusting now. He's been biting it and everything. But every time I take the cone off, he tries. The minute I blink, he goes for it, don't you? You do. You're not learning. We've probably got about 4 more days left of the cone before it's safe to let it off. Well, I think we'll end up wearing it for longer. That doesn't look like it's anywhere near ready for him to start touching it or anything. But anyway, fingers crossed. And they shaved his paw and I can't seem to stop him biting it. I've tried putting paste on it, I've tried bandaging it. And Les said to put him in a cone again. I'm not really sure how I stop it, so I just keep applying the paste and hoping for the best. I'm conscious people might see that. And then him and Nico got in a little scrap when he was in a surge of hormones, and that happened on his eye. Nico didn't have any marks on her, she came out on top, standard. But yeah, so it looks like he's been in the war wounds a bit, to be honest. Don't you? Hey? Let me see your eye. You little pudding pop. Don't you? That'll teach you not to take on the queen though, won't it? 14 days later, Teddy is officially cone free and he has stopped biting his front paw. I think that was probably the thing that irritated him the most, was where they shaved him. Teddy, can I have your paw? Ted, paw? Yeah. For his injection or for his drip or whatever it is, you know how they sedate, do blood tests and stuff. That seemed to be the thing that bothered him the most. So he is all good now. Back running around and doing anything like he used to, so that's good. And there's no more marking. There's not been a piece of marking in the house since then. So life is all good. And he is all recovered and back to his old self. Still as playful as ever. Teddy. Mila will get you. If Mila doesn't, Nico will. That's a wise decision, Teddy, wise.